Hey guys, welcome to Bada Boom. It's Troy.
And I'm Chris.
Today we're going to be talking about the new Superman casting. We know we've had the actor that's been cast as Superman. We've had that out for a while, but a couple new actors have been cast in this new movie. Jimmy Olsen, Lana Lane, and Chris. Like, what are your thoughts about the people that have been cast for these roles? Do you like them? We got Lex Luthor cast as well too. Like, what are your thoughts on them?
Yeah, I don't think Lana's been cast. Lois has been cast.
Oh, Lois.
You have Lois, the engineer. You have a Green Lantern. You have Mister Terrific. So the cast is shaping out to. It looks like it's an ensemble. What's really good about like James Gunn is that sometimes you could kind of piece together what a story is going to be based on sort of like who's cast and stuff. But this is a diverse enough cast in terms of the types of characters in it that I have no idea where this story is going. And the inspirations taken from, he in the production office, he shared like sort of like his mood board, which is like, Tim Sale's Superman for all seasons. I'm sure, All Star Superman will have an effect on it. So there's a lot. And obviously, he's the architect of the new DC universe. So there's going to be a lot of building from that. But, the most exciting news is obviously Nick Hoult as Lex Luthor, which is cool and kind of funny because, he went for Superman, didn't get it, and they gave him, Lex Luthor, which is a lot like, Tom Hiddleston going for Thor and
Yeah.
getting Loki. And I think it is cool when, the villain, and I feel like that is Lex Luthor. Hey, secretly, he probably wants to be Superman. So I think you've given him the motivation he needs. He's a great actor. The Menu is one of the best movies I've seen in the last few years. Renfield was fun. I don't think it's a perfect movie, but anything I see Nick Hoult in, it's been great. So it's cool to see him kind of back in the superhero space. He played Beast for years.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see him go head to head with David Cohen sets Superman. And obviously the other pieces of the cast are really cool. You have Skylar as Jimmy Olsen, which I think everyone has fan casted at Jimmy as Jimmy Olsen at this point. So James Gunn would have really fumbled the bag if he didn't do that. And then we also have the engineer, which is an interesting casting too, because you're like, wait, like who's the villain in this? Why is the authority in it? So that kind of goes back to sort of the interesting thing about what the plot could be. You have Maria Gabriela de Faria playing the engineer, Nathan Fillion playing Guy Gardner, which is going to be fun. So I'm hoping this movie's like 5 hours long because there's a lot of big characters in it. But James Gunn knows how to handle these things. He always did the great job with the Guardians movie. So what did you think?
My biggest takeaway was that Nicholas Holt is going to be Lex Luthor. Like I wasn't something I think I would have thought off the top of my head, but after thinking about it for a bit and like reflecting on some of the things that he's been in, I'm like, yeah, I totally can see this guy pulling it off. I think that. I mean, it's tough to be a Lex Luthor really because like Lex Luthor from Smallville, Michael Rosenbaum, like that's always who I think of when I think of Lex Luthor, and he was like the Lex Luthor when I was a kid. So to have someone else come in and like take the reins and be the next Lex Luthor, especially kind of what we got out of the Snyderverse, I think Nicholas is actually going to do a great job. I'm really looking forward to seeing how he portrays this character and if he is going to be that character that's like, yeah, I really want to actually be Superman, which is like true. That's what he wants. He wants to be Superman, but like not an alien.
Yeah, and he's a great choice. We've seen him bald in Mad Max Fury Road. He's got a good bald head, which I think is a very important piece if you're going to be playing Lex. Yeah, and they kind of like have it does look like you kind of have these opposites. David kind of looks like that all American guy, and then you have Nick Holt, who's British and kind of has like I don't know, they look like Superman and Lex. So I think this is a really perfect pairing. What is interesting is who they didn't cast. I had read that James Gunn had approached Bradley Cooper about potentially playing Lex, which would have been cool as a name thing, but I always like when Superman and Lex are close in age.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. When they're closer in age, they can go longer. They can be in more movies together. And if you're gonna build a franchise like a whole new DCU, like James Gunn's planning, you need to have actors that are gonna stay in the game for quite a while, and you don't have to rely on like CGI for different things.
Yeah. But this is a true Superman universe. Obviously, there's connections to whatever they're going to do with the DCU. But I have faith in James Gunn's ability to kind of tie these and tell a really compelling story. I wonder if, Superman would have been Superman, or this is the first time we see Superman like he's this new type of hero that inspires heroism in this DCU. And James Gunn has kind of like talked about how like yes, he's the architect of this, but in reality, they're taking sort of a movie by movie approach that even though this is going to be the first movie, it does not indicate the tone of the rest of the movies. It's going to be every director, every filmmaker, every writer will kind of have their own agency to be able to tell their stories. So, although this clearly has a huge cast, it's going to be very singular in terms of the story it's trying to tell.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see what they're going to come out with it. We'll have to just wait and see.
Yeah, we've already seen some pretty cool fan art of Nick Hoult as Lex Luthor. I'd imagine probably with all the news we're getting by January, February, we'll probably see, what the suit looks like. Just because I think these companies love getting a high quality photo of the suit out before they're like on set. And,
Yeah,
a paparazzi with, a 500-foot lens gets a photo of them blurry, and then we're all like, the suit sucks. So
exactly.
it'll be interesting. That, and, I'm really interested to see, what Mr. Terrific, Hawkgirl, Green Lantern, what their suits are going to look like. And just because I love the way James Gunn kind of interprets those things, especially what he did in the Marvel universe.
Yeah, it's a fresh start, new Green Lantern, new everything. So they've got one chance and one chance alone to kind of do it right. So hopefully, like you said, they'll release those images that are high quality so they can build their own hype and people can get excited about it and hopefully go see a really great Superman movie by James Gunn.
Yeah, and hopefully we get, Brainiac's casting soon.
Yes. All right. And with that, bada boom.
Bada boom.